Hey everyone, welcome back to Zake's Place. In today's game we're going to be playing is BU2. This is more of a visual novel with some choices. This game contains some dark themes which some viewers may find disturbing, such as death and suicide. If you do not feel comfortable with these themes, I highly recommend not playing. Okay. Birth and death are funny things. People end, they stop, they die. I'm not sure how to put it more bluntly. But the echoes of their life live on without them in the memories of the people that they meet. A little snapshot of their existence contained within another's brain. And in the way we change people, our parents help define who we are, our teachers, our friends. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are. And even when they're gone, we still have that part of them in us. And then we change the people we meet, so on and so forth. The echoes of life live on. Even if the one it started with is long gone, I believe you can get quite clear glimpses of people who have died possibly hundreds or even thousands of years ago from the text they've written. I mean, it's kind of shocking that you can read a book by some poor soul that died forever ago, but their words are still there clear as day. It's quite the sight. Oh my, today something new will be born. It's your, beautiful baby Bonnie. I hope you take good care of her. You bring home Bonnie swaddled in soft blankets. You set her delicately down in her crib. She quietly begins to cry. Oh shit, baby crying. What do you do? What do we do? Actually, check her nappy. Bravery is an interesting concept. Saving the world from a dark monster is not innately brave, but walking outside your front door could be. It's all about how much fear you're going through at the time and how you manage to overcome it. And you just changed the baby's nappy. You were truly the bravest out of all of us. Oh my, the next few years are comprised mostly of crying and pooping, and considering that I'm not a sadist, I'm not going to subject you to that. So I hope you don't mind, but there might be an itty-bitty time skip. It's a wonderful spring day. The sun feels warm on your skin. There's a soothing breeze carrying the smells of flowers and newly blooming life. It's a perfect day to go on a walk with your little Bonnie. As you peacefully stroll along, a little white rabbit jumps out in front of you. Bonnie is simply overjoyed and reaches out towards it, but the next second, there's a sickening screech, and the rabbit is now airborne, being held in fierce talons piercing through its flesh, staining its white fur so very, very, very red. As a hawk swoops off into the distance, Bonnie looks up at you, tears in her eyes. What do? Don't worry, little head, about anything. Survival of the fittest, motherfuckers. Get that fluffy bastard. It's nature. Please don't cry. I know it's sad, but hawks have to eat. Nature can be twisted for predators. It's either eat adorable fluffy animals or we'll starve to death. It might seem cold-hearted, but it's how the world works. I feel like that. If my child was really young, I think I might tell this lie. Let's just assume she's younger. A small seed of an idea was planted in Bonnie's brain, soon to germinate into a beautiful tree. And that idea was flying sounds good. I should try it sometime. Sadly, the tree would quickly break and fall into Bonnie's legs, smashing one of them. Alas, jumping off a roof with only cardboard wings is not how one begins to fly. Okay. You see Bonnibel looking up at you beaming, her face and hands a rainbow smudge of chalky marks. In her hand she tightly clutches a scrunched piece of paper. She raises it up in triumph. It appears to be an incomprehensible mess of scribbles, a mess of overlapping chalky colors. You see, it's a deep postmodern representation of the human soul, but Bonnibel informs you that it is a dinosaur. Now, of course, it's beautiful. She's quite literally pouncing around with happiness. Eventually, you both go back home and have a nice, peaceful night's sleep. But when you awake, you discover every surface of your household has been covered in chalk, from the toilet, to the carpet, to the walls, to your own face. You're filled with a burning emotion. You quickly run to Bonnie's, kicking down the door, and you scream, "Oh my god, we're gonna be fucking rich," as your child is clearly the most prolific art prodigy of this generation. You bring round a few famous art critics to appraise Bonnie's wondrous work. They are not exactly encouraging. They recommend a cleaner. You tell them to fuck off. She's clearly ahead of her time. Dad? Are slugs jealous of snails? It's just snails have these little houses on top of their backs and slugs don't. It's just unfair. They don't have a place to hide and curl up in, or a nice place to sleep when it's cold outside. It doesn't seem very nice. Hmm. Well, they do have to carry a house around on their back all day. I know I wouldn't enjoy carrying around mine. Fairness always works out. If life is fair, why don't I have a mom like the other kids? Oh shit, I didn't take this into consideration. How does that even out? I like slugs. I like slugs too. You and Bonnibel have had a long day wandering around the great outdoors, peeping at wildlife. As you sleepily wander home, the sun already setting, the sky dark blue, the last traces of light saying goodbye in the world. From the shadows you hear a sickening crunch. Oh God, no. No, I didn't mean to. Out of darkness you hear a crushed little snail under Bonnibel's feet. Oh boy. My sweet pea, don't cry, it's going to be fine, I promise. But she doesn't want to seem to apply. It is the dead of night, and you hear a door slowly creak open. There's a small, scared voice. There's a monster under my bed. Give gun. Don't worry, I'm sure there's not a monster under your bed. Look, just to make sure, I will go check for myself. I promise there's nothing. You wake up after a peaceful night's rest. There was nothing under Bonnie's bed. Why would there be? The air is cold, the sky is dark, spooks and monsters abound, creeping through every shadow with one thought burning in their minds. Holy shit. We're gonna eat a ton of sweets. Bonnie's face is pressed up against our living room window, looking out at the majesty of Halloween. Spooks, ghouls, and ghosties abound, and princesses, for some inexplicable reason. I don't know why, don't fit with the theme, don't make sense. Why? Why? Oh, sorry, that's beside the point. And on this fateful day, you have the chance to choose what particular spook, ghosty, or ghoul. Zombie, priest? A priest to show those pagan sinners the true light. Be sure to tell Bonnie to yell at all the other kids, "Begone, foul spirit!" Well, spiders do have 8 arms, and that would give you the addition of 8 times the candy grabbing power. Let's go with that. She definitely enjoyed the costume. I enjoy the costume. It looks great. But it was met with mixed success. On one hand, a neighbor turned out to be an arachnophobe. On the other hand, he gave us all his candy as well as $20. Oh, pound it looks like. It looks like it's in Europe. Just to go away. It's a lovely autumn day. Orange leaves gently drift along in the cold breeze. Once again, you're going for a walk with Bonnie. It feels peaceful. You feel quite content. Numb to the world, Bonnie is happily skipping beside you. You can't even feel the cold breeze on your face. Everything is fine. Wait, you can't feel the cold breeze on your face. It's like November. You should be able to feel that. You try to reach out your arm. Doesn't seem to move. You realize that soothing sensation of numbness. It felt quite calming at first, but now you can't feel your body. All the sensations you lived your whole life with. The sensation or the feeling of air rushing in and out of your lungs, your heartbeat, the clothes on your were so omnipresent, it just faded to the background. You forgot about them, but now it's gone. Its absence makes you feel so empty. You begin to slowly topple backwards. For a second you worry you'll hurt yourself when you hit the ground, but you remember at this point, your body seems not to be capable of feeling it, let alone pain. You look up at the sky, your vision beginning to fuzz. There's a face. Someone above you. Someone you really should remember. Their mouth is moving as if they're yelling. shouting, calling out, but you can't seem to hear anything. You attempt to speak, to try and soothe that distressed soul. You try to speak, but somehow you can't manage to get the words out. You desperately try, repeating it over and over in your head, but in the end there's only silence. The last experience you'll ever have is of that single thought. At least I got to spend my final moments with you. When you have nothing else, you have me. When all hope is lost, when reality is unbearable, look away from the world, and you'll discover a whole new one. Tightly embraced in my arms, I hope you never look back. You hear a faint cry off in the distance. Suddenly the cries are not so distant. A wave of noise hits you, cackling, hooting, screaming. You can't tell whether the makers of the sound are going through the most sensual joy or the worst pain you could imagine. You open your eyes, and the noise suddenly stops. You see strange figures in front of you, small, cowering, a mixture of hope and fear on their twisted faces. One slowly creeps towards you, and it appears to attempt to bow, even though its body seems rather unsuited to the position. It splutters out, "Please, please save us. The world is big and scary, but now you're here, everything will be okay. You can protect us from the monsters at night and feed us when we're hungry. Teach us what's the difference between right and wrong. Please, we beg you, the one who fell from the stars. Help us, help us." What did you little shits do? Did you bring me here? You brought me here. Why did you bring me here? What the fuck do you want to do with me? They appear to have set up some sort of feast to celebrate that coming of their new savior. They seem to be happily chirping to each other like some sort of strange alien song, passing small cups of dirty water around as if they were wine, and happily munching on something that can be charitably described as very, very stale bread. Pizza. Considering that you can produce much more food exclusively farming plants than farming plants and animals, something to do with the food. I think you were taught about it at school once. Anyway, these things don't exactly look like they're going to be capable of hunting anything anyway. Cabbages don't fight back, so sticking to vegetables seems like the safer option. Ground level sounds decent. I think it says housing. This game is getting really weird. I thought it was a peaceful message about life and death and a father and daughter. I'm not so sure. So ground level does open up a lot of options, I guess, if we're going to severely twist the meaning of ground level. Suddenly, oh god. Was that my daughter? Here, little world becomes very, very still. Details begin to blur and fuzz over. Everything's dark, everything's pitch black, you can't see. Your little monster friends are running around in blind panic, with as little on earth of a clue as what's happening as you currently have. What the fuck do you think you're doing? I really don't know. These little guys were cold and hungry, but now they're warm and well fed. They needed someone to care for them. Wait a second. Did I appear in a flash of lightning? What the hell is wrong with my hands? The narrator did not just call me evil looking. Let's skip a little bit. Ooh, so she steps, I think it's a girl, steps on the creatures that I just began to help. Convince it to atone for its evil ways. No, that worked. We're just going to skip a little bit ahead. Oh, dear God. No, you can't leave. You can't leave. Do you have any idea what would happen to you? You would trip. You could trip and snap your neck like a fragile twig. You get hit by a car. You catch a terrible disease. If people see you, they'll hate you. But if you stay here, nothing can hurt you. It's silent. It's still. You know, something is going to go wrong if you leave. It has to go wrong. Okay, what's going on here? Game gets weirder and weirder. Suddenly you're back. You actually... I did what? You destroyed the Heart of Darkness and came out the other side. Okay. Okay. Is that my daughter? Is she dead because I stayed? The spider is dead. What spider? 6, 5. 6, 5. Okay, that was BU2. I have no idea what just happened. I have no idea what happened. I thought the game was going to be about, like I said, like life and death, and maybe you go through a visual narrative style and something tragic happens with your daughter, but then you go to something reminiscent of Undertale on acid, and, well, that was someone's creativeness taking place, and more than what I could produce in the game, so it was still an interesting playthrough, and I'm glad I played it. Alright, well, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.